At the far edge of the meadow of mothwings, where moon milk flowers opened only after sunset and the grass whispered secrets to the wind, lived a very small owl named Ollo. Other owls stayed wide awake through the dark hours, swooping and calling to each other. Ollo was different. He was famous for being sleepy, not the heavy kind of tired that makes your wings droop, but the gentle kind, the kind that lets you notice the way shadows stretch, or the way the air feels just before a star appears. Around his neck hung a tiny velvet pouch, soft as midnight. Ollo called it his moon pocket. He liked to think he could catch a pinch of the moon's cool light inside and save it for mornings when the world was too loud or too bright. One evening, the first star blinked awake, and the meadow turned a deep, dreamy blue. Ollo felt something new, a soft shimmer in the air, like bells so tiny you could only hear them if you listened with your whole self. Tonight, he yawned, I think I'll listen for a story. He stepped to the edge of his oak branch, wings spreading slowly. The moon pocket tapped against his chest, tap, tap, as he glided into the cool evening air. Ollo followed a winding path of pale moon milk flowers to the blue pond. There, Frog Maestro stood on his lily stage, reed scarf wrapped around his neck, waving a baton that wasn't really a baton but felt important. Evening, Ollo, the maestro croaked warmly. He flicked a bead of cool pond water onto Ollo's brow. A little water, he said, keeps the night fresh. Past the pond rose Whisper Hill. Ollo perched there, the grass cool under his toes. Above, the moon climbed slowly, telling a story in silver light and gentle shadow. The story went like this: long ago, a creature loved the quiet parts of night. It gathered sighs, pauses, and the breath between cricket songs, keeping them safe until the world grew too loud. Then it would let the quiet drift out, and everything would soften. Ollo's feathers tingled. Maybe I could do that, he thought. The hill gave him an example, a moth landing and folding its wings. The tiny pause in the air was so soft, it could hide under a seed. Ollo opened his moon pocket, breathed in slow, and let the pouch drink that hush. It felt just a whisper heavier, like eyelids before sleep. A wandering breeze curled around the hilltop. It hummed a low, slow tune, a wind lullaby, that brushed the grass into swirls. Ollo tilted his head, listening, and caught a pinch of the lullaby in his pouch. Then, sharp sounds from the village reached his ears, barking, voices, clattering, flustered chickens. Ollo flew low over rooftops, letting his shadow fall soft like a blanket. Above the mill, two neighbors argued over a wheel spilling water the wrong way. The dog barked louder, the air felt prickly. Ollo untied his pouch just a little. The moth's hush and the wind's lullaby slipped out in a thread of coolness. The dog blinked, yawned, and lay down. The chickens tucked themselves in. The neighbors sighed. We'll fix it in the morning, said one. In the morning, agreed the other. The air grew gentler. Ollo tied his pouch again, feeling a little lighter himself. Back toward the meadow, Ollo saw Miri, the miller's daughter, walking in her sleep. She carried a lantern that wasn't lit but glowed faintly, the way seashells sometimes do when they remember the sun. Her bare feet moved carefully, not bending a single blade of grass more than needed. Where her glow touched the ground, dew formed into tiny stars. Ollo opened his pouch and caught the quiet of careful steps, the stillness between dreaming and waking. Farther on, a hawthorn snagged one of his feathers. I pricked too quickly, the hawthorn rustled. I mean to protect the littlest birds. Sometimes, Ollo said softly, a gentle warning works even better than a sharp one. The hawthorn tried a slower rustle, it sounded like a lullaby for ladybugs. Ollo saved that soft warning quiet too. A fallen elm lay across the creek, making a bridge. Above it, bats stitched the air into neat loops, dipping low to sip from the water. They moved together, each wing beat part of the same pattern. Ollo felt the shared work quiet in their harmony and let it slide into the moon pocket. By the time the moon reached its highest point, Ollo's pouch held many kinds of quiet: moth hush, wind lullaby, careful steps, soft warning, shared work. He rose above the meadow and village, opening the pouch just enough to let the quiet drift down like mist. Doors closed gently. Windows caught the breeze without slamming. Even the loudest owls hooted in duets, leaving space for each other's voices. From his burrow, Bram the badger called, "Good work." Bram wasn't famous for smiling, but his eyes did. When Ollo tucked his head under his wing, the meadow whispered good night. The next morning, the quiet still lingered. A boy slowed to carry his grandmother's basket. A baker hummed instead of sighing. A cat decided not to argue with a sparrow. Far away, a traveler paused at a hawthorn, noticed an owl feather caught there, and smiled without knowing why. Nights rolled on, and Ollo kept collecting. From Frog Maestro came shared rest. From Luda the fox, who let the earth carry her weight, came trust quiet. One winter night, he learned patient quiet, the kind roots and seeds keep while waiting for spring. Every night, Ollo gave a little back. Every morning, the meadow remembered. If you wake in the night sometimes, someone wakes when the world is dark and their thoughts are too quick. If that happens, imagine Ollo on Whisper Hill, moon pocket warm against his feathers. He unties it just enough, letting your portion drift across the dark: moth hush, wind lullaby, careful steps, shared work, soft warning, trust, patience. Breathe in slow. Breathe out slower. Let the hush find you. What sleepy owls know. Ollo learned that quiet isn't the absence of sound, it's a place sound can rest. That rests makes songs sing. That soft warnings can protect as well as sharp ones. That careful steps leave room for dreams. That trust lets the earth carry you. That patience is full, not empty. And that a pocket full of hush is not for keeping, it's for sharing. So the sleepy owl kept collecting night, not for himself alone, but so the whole meadow could breathe a little easier. And if you listen softly enough, you might still hear him gliding under the moon pocket tapping at his chest, full of quiet, ready to share. Good night.